Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is BMT coming at you again with another live. This one right here, I definitely wanted to talk about this one and get into it. And I had to ask a question about this one. Well, not really. I'm asking a question, but bring about you know just how far some people will go to keep love. You know, and bring about a equivalency of just how low down some people's energy. Just bring about the energy of you know people, and just to be loved or feel some type of some accomplishment, and just to have somebody around these days. Now this is a talk, of course, because we're bringing around awareness. I'm saying, what's going on, Xander? What's going on, Xander? um and I actually like, share, subscribe. Like, how far will some people go to keep? Yeah. Hang on. Let me put out this hashtag Nicki Minaj. Hashtag. So we're throwing this out here because this is something that's very interesting, and it's about Nicki Minaj. Now, if you already know if you've been living under a rock, Nicki Minaj is no stranger to the rap game, no stranger to stuff. What's going on, trailer? Um, she's been in quite a lot of different controversy and different other stuff that has happened or going on throughout music history. Now, one of the most interesting things that has come about is about her. She's married. She has a husband, and this is not so much. This has to do with both of them. For the most part, Nicki Minaj's husband, and I'm about to pull up all this stuff. Um, he has a very checkered past, and you got to ask yourself, um, is it worth it when you're in a relationship? Is it worth it covering up abuse? Is it worth it to keep a home, even at the expense of other people's suffering? Is it worth it to keep a man? These are kind of things that we have to ask, and this is a discussion because I want to be able to break this down and talk about this. A lot of people have feelings, say that, hey, you know what, it's your past. We shouldn't hold that over you. They were young, but we also have to pull up a whole allotment of stuff that has gone about. Hang on, let me grab. Do I have my? I gotta go hook up my other keyboard. Hang on, give me a second. Okay, so there we go. I do apologize about that. Y'all know me. I have been freelancing and doing stuff, but I've been working out of my norm. But now I want to show y'all something. And there's a pattern with. I know we always think that it's just the women, I mean just the man, but it's also women too. Now, first off, let me show y'all this. Now, this is Nicki Minaj. Let me close this down. Right. So this is about Nicki Minaj. Woman Nicki Minaj's husband tried to rape, claim she is being harassed by the rapper and has been offered 500K to say she lied about the sex attack. Now, this is interesting because if you pull up Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, so let's go ahead and get out her brother right here, and he he has a sex thing. This is Nicki Minaj's brother. Judge Monday sentenced the brother of superstar rapper Nicki Minaj to 25 years to life in prison for sexually assaulting his former stepdaughter in their Baldwin home, a crime that defendant claimed that trial never happened and was fabricated to try to extort 25 million from his famous sibling. And what's crazy about this was they found out the girl was being raped, and Nicki tried to protect her brother for this, even though that the little girl was getting raped and abused. Um, the doggone, she was still willing to cover for her brother. Okay. The next one is Kenneth Petty record. Now this is Kenneth Petty. This is Nicki Minaj's husband. Now I want you to look at the doggone at the stuff. In 1995 and 95, Kenneth Petty was convicted of the attempted first-degree rape of a 16-year-old girl. 1 year prior, he was sentenced between 18 to 54 months in New York State prison, serving just under 4 years. In 2006, pled guilty for first-degree manslaughter and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Like I said, this is a repeated thing. This is a repeated thing going on with this man or with this woman. And however, she keeps covering up for these types of men. She keeps on covering up for these type of men. I just want to make sure I pull up everything. Nicki Minaj's husband, Ken Petty, arrested for failing to register as a sex offender. Now, in seeing all this, but y'all saying, BMT, what is the point of all this? What is the point? Now, you have it right here, but I have to make sure I build up everything. I have to make sure I build up everything so that way you'll understand where it's all coming from. Now, in saying this, hang on, let me make sure I blow it up for you. All right? The woman came forward. Hang on, make it a little bigger for y'all. There we go. The woman came forward, right, with her alarming allegations in an interview with the Daily Beast on Thursday, using only her first name, Jennifer. Jennifer accused Nicki Minaj's now husband, Kenneth Petty, of sexually assaulting her when they were both 16 years old in 1994. Petty was convicted of attempted rape a year later. And also around that time, they also found out she was sodomized, which that she was sodomized, and she was held at knife point with an ice pick. Minaj defended her husband's sex offender status in 2019 and claimed his accuser lied and attempted um, to recant her statement to police back in 1995. But Jennifer insisted that she never considered walking back her claims. Despite Minaj and Petty's alleged effort to get her to do so, she claimed that over the last year, Minaj and Petty recruited several people close to her family in a vicious intimidation campaign. Jennifer said the harassment began in March of last year, immediately after Petty was arrested for failing to register as a sex offender. Now, if the woman, Jennifer, recants the statement about him being a sex offender, then guess what? You know what I'm saying? You probably have to let it go. What's going on 702? What's going on Trailer? What's going on Jane? Jane Vane? Like, this is pretty interestingly, this is nothing new because you're seeing a pattern. You're seeing a pattern where as to uh there's a constant recruitment of this type of deviancy. Almost like hush money. Because they don't want her to talk. They don't want that woman to talk about it. This is the desperation that some women will honestly, they will turn a blind eye to their mate or their family's abuse, so long as there's some form of happiness or whatever type of disgusting behavior there is that, they just want it to go away. But I'm like, why? Why should it have to go away if literally this is something that had happened? He was convicted. That just turns to the climate. That just turns to the climate that, hey, some people will do whatever it takes just so that way the climate will change for people to get out of these types of stuff. And there's nothing worse than to see that, just like people say, the brotherhood should be more solid. People will turn a blind eye to these sort of things all the time. People will turn a blind eye to these sorts of things all the time. And it's very telling about the character of Nicki Minaj, because a lot of her fans, they don't want nothing to do with her. Well, whoever says that, hey, are women trying to protect the men? Well, you got a woman right here. She's doing a lot of protecting. A woman who insistently claimed that Nicki Minaj's husband in the 90s has been claimed that has claimed that he and the rapper have been harassing her for months and offered to pay her hundreds of thousands of dollars to recant her story. The victim came forward with her claiming allegations in an interview with the Daily Beast on Thursday using her first name. Now, sad to say, this happened before. How do you mean? This happened with R. Kelly's. When you get high-powered people that can buy off people for silence. Corporations do it. People with money do it. Gangs do it. Anybody with any type of influence or power will try to get other people to sell out their soul just so that way people can turn a blind eye and say, well, they retracted their statement. So what's the problem? They're not holding any type of, premise against us. So I don't get why y'all complaining. This is very telling about the climate of society that we allow this type of behavior. I feel like if it was up to me, if somebody was that, and trust me, I know what it's like to be put on that type of pedestal of, hey, like it's probably, something that, that they can earnestly look at or hold to account. I'll give you that. But if we do have this kind of thing where people with power are literally trying to pay other people to keep silent or don't say nothing or, just turn a blind eye, that's a really deviant and disgusting behavior. Even so that she would go to her own family, which is why a judge years ago had put her brother away, because he got caught raping his his stepdaughter. We had it where a person on here on BMT talked about the issue of literally that had happened to their family member. Sometime sometime the enemy is not always far away. I know we like to believe that it's some illegals that are coming into this country. We like to believe that it's, somebody like some creepy old dude. Sometimes that same person can honestly be a person that lives right there in your same bedroom. Be the person that takes you to church. Can be your own brother, your own sister. And people will do all sorts of manners of things to try to keep the peace. They will. They'll do whatever they can to try to keep the peace, even if it means silencing the victim. This is a very dangerous and vicious game because a lot of people, uh, it amazes me that some people say, well, the person already paid their due to society. Why are we still bringing it up? Tell me, does the person that gets abused, do they get their life back? Do they get back their humanity? Do they get back their innocence? Do they get back anything? No, it's definitely not like that. And honestly, some people believe like, hey, it's probably just a sexuality, it's just a phase that they're going through. But these people are not going through no dang phase. They're not trying to change their ways. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty jacked up. And I'm watching the slander of the woman. I'm watching the slander of the woman. What's going on, Queen of the South? What's going on, everybody? I will open it up for predominantly women, but I feel like this is something that they have the right to voice their opinion on. But I have gone to women advocacy groups that have literally talked about, hey, like I've had stuff happen to me where my mama turned a blind eye. I've had it where my family members have told me stuff of don't say nothing. They got taken to go get an abortion. They've been shamed. They say that they've been violated. They've been told that this is just what people do. When I was sexually abused as a child, you know what they told me? Give it to Jesus. Oh yeah, that was it. Give it to Jesus. Don't worry about it. Pray about it. Let it rest in prayer. And move on. Mind you, this woman came for it. Mind you, when it came to, and like I said, you see a whole pattern with Nicki's husband. Okay? This man has a whole pattern of this stuff. I don't know, like honestly, what honestly can come of this? This man can't do nothing for her. This man can't take her child to school. This man can't doggone walk his child or visit, talk to the principal or be there at any school functions. This is a whole buster. And there has to be some accountability that, listen, these superstars don't mean you no good. Listen, I don't care what this kind of person says. These type of people, understand it, there are just as much dangerous men, but there's also poisonous women, such as Nicki Minaj out there, that would literally co-sign this type of rapture of abuse. And they won't call it out. They won't call it out. They won't say nothing about it. They won't say, hey, you know what? With all the female fans I have, maybe this might be triggering. Nicki, you just got finished doing a talk on Barb Radio talking about how unfair it is for women. But now that you got some penis, all of a sudden the game done change up for you. Make it make sense. Or were you just saying that so long as you was getting those dollars? You know what I'm saying? Because at some point there has to be an accountability. Listen, man, I know it's not easy, and I know what it's like to be victim shamed. I know what it's like to be told, hey, don't say nothing about it. Listen, and this is why it's hard sometimes for some people to want to come home. This is why sometimes when it's hard for people to actually want to be around family or just have that type of talk where, damn, like mama or daddy or auntie or grandma, y'all supposed to have my back. But then it be the same people that's supposed to love you that be doggone turning a blind eye. And that ain't cool. I agree with you, Classic Ruby. She is in denial. She is in denial. Thank God that Nicki didn't have no doggone daughter. Some of y'all kids are products of rape. And you know, some people who have been raped or abused, they would defend other abusers. Oh, yeah. See, this is the problem. This is the problem that we do have going on. This is the problem that we have going on that we don't admit. Some people who have been abused will defend other abusers because in the correlation of their mind, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe if I hadn't dressed like that, that wouldn't have happened to me. Maybe if I hadn't said something, he probably wouldn't have punched me. Maybe if I don't say anything, mama will love me. Maybe that's the only way daddy or uncle can show their love. You know what I'm saying? There's a book, and I got to go get that I got to go get that therapy book. And it talks about a young boy that his uncle will come over and have sex with him. And he believed that chemically that was correct, that was right. So as he got older, his chemical composition of sexuality was thrown off. So we got to understand that, there's a lot of deep-rooted abuse going on. But some people just are like, I don't want to fall out of grace. We're joined here right now by the one, the only, one of my greatest co-hosts, my ride or die, love her with all my heart, Miss Classic Ruby. What's going on, beloved?
Why, good evening, BMT. I know it's been a minute, and
Yes, yes.
I know, and like I've been on this hardcore physio rehab road to recovery thing. It's taking a lot of my strength in life and energy.
I have missed you, girl. I have
I
missed you.
know. I know. I missed you too. And honestly, to be honest, I have my stream tonight at 10:30. But I was like, you know what? That gives me a little bit of time. I'm gonna jump up here because this is in my wheelhouse. I missed too
Yeah.
many good ones that were in my wheelhouse. So gotta come
I,
up,
I know you
show
saw
my
that
love.
last one and you was like, oh my God, why did he do these ones around me?
Hmm. Right?
But
Why did you do them without me? BSE, you know it. Oh God. But
we got to talk about it. So, okay, so right now it is Women's History Month. This is
hmm
Women's History Month, historical Women's History Month of all the accolades and stuff that women have done throughout around the world. And this
hmm
is also a pretty big one. I couldn't overlook this one because a lot of women have dealt with abuse and laid silent and just say, hey, it is what it is. This is just the fate of being a woman. And so
hmm
it was crazy, but when this content came up, it was a mixed bag of feelings in the room, right? Because some was
hmm
saying he already did his time. Why is she complaining? But then the other one is about she should have the right to complain. So here we are with it for us to dissect. But me and you like to dissect things. And I
hmm
welcome for other women to use your voice. I'm going to be more so for the women to come up today. Fellas, you can come up, but I'm more originally. This is more so of a woman's type of thing. I'm just here. We will be doing another all women's panel coming up again for them. I know BMT, why are you doing all these women panels? I said because it's good to have co-ed panels. I like those. They're very
hmm
fun.
Right. Well,
So
we need to get to understanding. If we ever want functionality in the community, we need to get to a place of understanding each other, and we can't do that unless we talk to each other, right? So, I
right,
mean, a
right.
little stupid to think otherwise. But I want to say this, because I got to make my positions clear before we have this discussion.
Let it rip.
Queen Queen always says that I'm always on the guy's side, and that's absolutely not true. I'm just on the side of logic. But with that being said, I think feminism is normally on the opposite side of logic, so that might
Mm-hmm.
be why it seems that way. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm going to be fair. I'm going to admit something. When I first read the story, because I didn't know the backstory, so when I first read the first couple paragraphs of it, I was like, "Wait a minute. So what? This chick just like basically me too. This guy, she just came out of nowhere and said, "Hey, he raped me when I was 16, right?" And I was like, "Yo, this is why I have an issue with the Me Too bullshit. If something happened to you 20 years ago, why didn't you call it up 20 years ago?" But I kept
Mm-hmm.
reading. I didn't make statements until I had done all my research. I kept reading. I said, "Oh, she did. Oh, wait a minute. No. She took this man to court, and then she won." So
Mm-hmm.
then, what's her beef? Her beef was not like, you know what? Listen, it just looks like he's having too good of a life. I'm gonna ruin him. No, her beef is that Nicki Minaj went out and used her and threw her under the bus and threw her name in the mud, right? And
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh no, it's okay that I'm marrying a rapist because he's not a real rapist because the person who accused him of rape and the reason why he was convicted, that was all on a lie."
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did you expect her to do? And then what's worse than that? Then you send a whole hit squad of people to threaten her, to threaten every damn buddy, right? So you send someone to try to pay her off. Okay, then that doesn't work, right? Then you're gonna send people to threaten her, her friends, her family, everybody. She's moved 3 times. She's in fear of her life just for speaking about a case where your husband violated her. And the reason why this is all happening is because rather than you take owner, like, yo, what she could have done. Here's the thing, Nikki, listen, you want to be a rapist sympathizer? That's cool. You can do that because it's a free world. Then you should have said something along the lines of, listen, he did his time. He was young at the time. He's done a lot of work in rehabilitation. He's a new man. I believe in him. You could have done that without throwing this poor young victim under the bus. This man violated her, and you want to throw her under the bus. So then I was like, well, why did she do it? Right? Because it would have made more sense to go the way I just said. And so
Right.
I was like, why did she do it? And then I remembered her brother. And I went, oh,
Mm.
I know why she did it. Because she's desperate to believe that in this day and age, all Black men who are accused of any type of a sexual assault crime, it's all just like politics, and people are lying, and all these people are just coming out, and it's just lies. It's just lies to attack people around Nicki, right? So she wants to believe that. Why? Because she wants to believe her brother's really innocent. She wants to believe because otherwise she loves deeply, unconditionally, a predator. And it's the same thing as this man. She fell in love with this man. She wants to marry this man. Someone finally captured her heart and soul. She wants to submit to this man. Then she finds out, oh, he's a predator. Well, do you really want to admit to yourself that the only men that you love are predators?
Damn.
Right? So that's
That's
point 1.
pretty cold. That is pretty cold.
It's cold. It's cold as ice. And then you add another thing, and I'm going to be real. There's so much sexual assault and molestation in the community that most women under the age of 40, I don't know a lot who said, no.
Well, they
Don't
told you pray
know.
about it and get over it, Ruby. They say pray about it, you get over it over a few years. Seeley got over it in The
Um,
Color Purple. Hello, hello, Ruby.
liar. You're looking for attention, right? So a lot of girls have heard that and they internalized it. They internalized that message that they did something wrong, it's their fault, or they must be lying, right? You're just a liar. You just wanted it, now you regret it, right? So they internalized all these things. And even though it's not true, they started to believe it about themselves because if that horrific thing that happened to them, they really brought it on themselves and they actually really wanted it and blah, blah, blah. Well, then everyone must be lying, right? So there's all these different ways you could look at it, and all of them tell you that Nicki Minaj is not psychologically healthy. That's just what it comes down to. She's just not.
Now, here's the thing about it. Like, and I had a woman that told me, she told me that her brother would come in her room and rape her every other night.
Mm.
And no matter what no matter what she said, she was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So she internalized believed that maybe I'm wrong. This is a woman I was talking to, but at this advocacy, and I was like, wait, huh? She's like, no, I used to get like my mom slapped me, my dad would tell me stop lying. No one ever believed me.
Mm.
No one ever believed me. And she just said, the hell with it. So she just said, I just told myself to close my eyes and just enjoy it.
Mm.
Just enjoy it. And I
Mm.
was like, what kind of sick ass? This sounds like some movie shit. Like, there's no way she could be making this stuff up. But she was
Right.
like, no matter what, nobody will ever believe me. And she said, she's like, finally, her brother had gotten an STI and she got an STI.
Mm.
And they were like, she must have did something to her brother because there's no way.
Wow.
The
And you,
reality is,
mm-hmm.
hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
The reality is Nicki Minaj will never be a healthy person to judge anything because she was brought up in a culture that said that was okay. So unless she gets psychological help, she's never gonna be because her brother was that, and we really don't know the true story, what happened in the home with her own brother and her, because that will never be discussed. We will never discuss the childhood hunting that go into teenage years. She's never going to be that because more than likely, on some level, she was probably molested or inappropriately touched. Maybe not the penetration within her own family, because a lot of times those are family dynamics. Her brother was one. We don't know the story between her brother and her, or
Mm-hmm.
other brothers and other relatives within that family that may see those things as okay. So she's never going to be healthy.
Now, I did a story earlier, and I might have to go pull it up, where there was a mama and a daughter. Now, in the story with the mom and the daughter, I'm not sure if you saw when I did it, Ruby and Koja, and I could pull it out. They started arguing about the mama's boyfriend. I'm
I
not sure.
remember.
You remember that, Koja?
The one where the mom was talking about her house being cleaned and
Yeah,
she
and
got a man and
right now I was like, what mama and what daughter argue about your man's penis and all that shit and who be fucking and doing this and that? And I'm like, yo, there's some more shit going on in this house than just about this damn cleaning. And I ain't never, ever, ever argued about doggone what my parents' sexual activity. You know what I'm saying? Like, are y'all both sharing the boyfriend? Don't worry, he ain't looking at you. He ain't looking at you. I'm like, yo, there's some deep, dark, goddamn color purple shit going on.
Mm.
where we have a society where we have hierarchies, whether you want to talk about concubine, polygamy, and all of those dynamics take place within families and cultures. And then, as far as I know, the little bit I heard about female circumcision, it is not the men that hold the young girls down. It is the other women. And they're doing this because they want to curry favor from men. I saw this movie in the 80s, the jailhouse movie. They say, how do you control these women? Divide cock. And when women are in competition for other things, don't see our relatives, we see them as competition, unfortunately, because society says women are not valuable. So your value is in your vagina, and you use your vagina, and you will compete with your mama and you will compete with your sister until we write another narrative.
So, in asking that, because listen, I wouldn't know. Like I said, like when it came to, and I don't mind admitting this. Like, listen, and see, people say whatever the fuck they want to say. I don't care. Like when I was raped multiple times, I didn't feel like I had anybody to go to or talk to. I just didn't feel like there was nobody. Anybody that I talked to about that, it was like it's cool. So I can only imagine what it's like for a woman. But when I'm seeing that there are women that co-sign it, what does that say for the dynamic of the sisterhood? And I want to hear from both of y'all, because here you got it where this woman literally, she has the money, she has the voice, she has the access, and she's trying to silence she if she didn't mind trying to silence a young little girl, I doubt she got any qualms of trying to silence a grown ass woman. You get what I'm saying? Like,
We don't
there's
story.
no way.
We
I
say
think the
thank
way
God
she
she
sees
don't
it,
have a
though.
daughter. She don't have a
What?
daughter yet. She doesn't have a daughter yet because we don't know, because the story ain't finished. She can still have children. But most people become one of three things: predators, prey, or advocates. So she has not become an advocate. And at the end of the day, we might see her in some Tiny and Ti stuff. She might be getting some of them, what they call barbettes, to bring in with her and Kenny Petty, or some barbettes little girls, or some of the people that you never know. They may be that dynamic duo. I just remember watching movies back in the day about people who were pulled into prostitution, and they always had a young girl or another woman to come and pull the girls in because they were on guard against men. But they always used the women or the younger girls to pull the girls in because that was less obvious. It's like, we sisters, let me pull you in.
So what about you, Ruby?
Um, I want to say it like this. I don't think, actually, I do think that just based on all of the other factors, Nikki sees that what she's dealing with is not a little girl, because this happened in 1994 when the girl was 16, which means the girl's not 16 anymore. Girl's not a girl anymore, right? The girl's grown now, and so Nikki is looking at, like, the past is the past, right? And this is where, again, a lot of times when you see people be this dismissive about someone's teenagehood, childhood, leave that word, it's because they have similar or worse, honestly, traumas in their childhood, in their teenagehoods, that, at the time they were basically browbeaten, abused, threatened, accused into shutting up and forgetting about, right? And so they plant it in their subconscious. And then from their subconscious, and it can go two different ways. Normally goes one of the violent opposite extreme ways, right? From their subconscious, in Nikki's case, right, it's causing her to think that this girl, man, whether it's true or not, you should just shut your mouth. If you're going to talk about it now, it's just because you want clout. It's just because you want attention. And why would you want that? Because it's not true, because you're a liar. Everyone's trying to, get on the Nikki gravy train, which is why Nikki tried to pay her $500K, right? You want the gravy train? Fine, I'll give you the gravy. Now go away. And she honestly thought that would work, right? She didn't do it for any other reason than she thought it would work, because she really believed this girl was lying. She really believed it was all a bunch of malarkey, right? And so this is where you got to look at it then and say, okay, well, if that's the case, right, then what needs to happen from here when it comes to Nicki Minaj and her audience, right, her fan group, which are basically young teeny boppers, right, and to middle-aged adolescents. What do we do then? Because see, the thing is, and I understand obviously the major concern, because it keeps coming up again and again. The major concern right now is you got a bunch of young, innocent, impressionable girls following Nicki Minaj, who trust Nicki Minaj, who believe anything Nicki Minaj would say, who believe that Nicki would never be a predator, never be a bad person, never set them up to fail in any way, because Nicki's the greatest, right? Now, whether Nicki would willingly, consciously do this or not is one thing. I don't think she would. But the problem is, if she really believes that her rapist husband is not a rapist and therefore is not dangerous and is not a threat, then could she actually do it without even realizing that's what she's doing, which you're setting someone up to fail, setting someone up to be abused? Yes, right? This is massively problematic. I do think that this situation, though, is going to slap her into reality, because there's only so much denial you can live in. She wasn't there for the court case. She wasn't there for this, that, and the next thing. But guess what's going to get dug up and splashed everywhere? That court case, all the evidence, everything.
So here, the thing about it is this, and this is why, that's why I pulled up the pattern, right? Because when it came to her brother, that was a pattern. Mm-hmm. Then it came to the Tekashi 6ix9ine incident. That was another pattern. I was like, God dang, like, Nikki, how the hell are you finding all these guys? How? Now you got the dude Kenneth Petty, and that's another pattern. And I'm like, wait, Nikki, you're literally in the piranha pool where more sexual deviancy and predatory predators hang out. But like, we don't have to guess these stories. We don't have to guess the myth, because there have been so many doggone things. Hell, when it came to the family thing, they could say, well, why would she do that? Well, did not R. Kelly do the same thing towards the families of the victims that he raped and abused? Was he not giving them money to tell the girls, hey, keep quiet, don't talk about that? You know what I'm saying? Hey, how about you, tell them to stay cool? This is a divided tactic that the first thing you always do in war is slander the name. If you slander the name, then it kind of loses momentum, because if you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly, Queen. She was deep within Tekashi 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying? She was hanging with him, defending him. And a lot of people are like, yo, Nick, why are you doing this? Like, why are you defending these types of men on and on? So there is a pattern, because you're defending a certain type of dude. But I've never seen that type of loyalty before. Well, I have, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, she's just very, I don't think she's consciously vocal, but she's literally, like, she's a big co-signer. So go ahead, Koja. Go ahead.
But it's not abnormal that Nikki doesn't see these women today as the little children that they were, because in society, most people don't see the woman standing. If they could just picture in their mind the 8-year-old little girl instead of the 18-year-old woman who on social media showing their butt and doing this and that, then maybe they could. Because when I look at somebody who say that, I try to visualize in my mind the child and talking to the child. And a lot of people are not able to visually put the child in front of them. They talk about these people, like they say, a high percentage of them end up in the sex industry, in the this and that, sometimes because it's all they know. And the situation of they're just doing it because of money. In the state of Florida, my cousin, I remember when she came to live with us, I mean, to live down south. Well, I guess it would be up north with us because she was from Fort Lauderdale, Miami. And she had got molested and she actually caught an STI. It's in the paper now. I would have to Google it. But when she became like 17 or 18, because DCF, or it was HRS back then, came in the home, and she had got an STI. And we ain't gonna even talk about what my aunt did and didn't do in the failure to protect. But she came to the country to live down there. And when she turned 18, 17 going on 18, she had him prosecuted, and they still had a lot of the evidence. And I think it was one of the first cases that had gone back so far to have him terminated. And she was able to relive that stuff. Now, that man died in prison. I think she said a couple of years ago, he wrote to her asking for her forgiveness because he really wanted to be her to say it's okay to let him out of prison because he was, from my understanding, the bad diabetic and half blind. But after she left at age maybe 10 or 12 or something, he didn't stop molesting kids. It's probably a whole slew of girls that was molested after that. And it wasn't only just him molesting her. His mother would do it too. It's amazing that she is not a predator herself. And a lot of people will probably, I always say my cousin is a cat. She landed on her feet because she is a productive, she didn't let it eat her up. But has she had some things in between that might, other people would look at her and question her, but nobody ever sees the little girl. Everybody sees the adult. They don't see that certain behaviors, et cetera, are just scars that are residual that they had to suppress. Because whatever we suppress is gonna come out one way or another. If you put an ant pile and you go and put poison on it, the only thing it's going to do is run to the next one if you don't eliminate the whole thing. And we just suppress stuff and it pops up in behaviors that nobody really wants to address. They just want to blame the victim without really getting to the real problem.
So one of the things about it, and I'm gonna speak on me. I battle with my sex and my issues every day. Every day. Every fucking day. Every day when I get anxious, every day when I get overexcited, this is real. I always get frustrated like a motherfucker when people say get over it. And I'm like, how? How do you get over it? Like, what button is there to turn it off? Because there is none. There is no button to turn it off. I prayed about it. I have cried about it. It was hard telling my family about it. Shit. Hell, sometimes I don't even want to tell them, from the looks I get sometimes. But it's not something, Ruby, I have tried. So I can only imagine when another person tells that woman, hey, why are you still complaining?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Mm-hmm. And I think the thing is you don't ever get over it. And I mean, that's like, if you try to get over it, you're going to spend your life bathed in it, because the only thing you can do really is get through it, which is a totally different thing. Right. And it involves a lot of therapy, a lot of counseling, a lot of attacking and battling inner deep subconscious messages from even before the abuse, even long before that, just from society on a daily basis, working through little teeny tiny things you don't even think are related, like until you get through it. When you get through it, right? Because I did this for about a decade of my life, of this really hard work, and so you get through it to the other side, and you didn't get over it, you got through it.
Right.
And it's no longer, there as, a present everyday thing. Like for me, a big thing, I was so devastated that my innocence was gone. Like I used to be this one person and now I'm a different person. And I wanted the person I was back. I wanted the lack of pain and trauma back. I wanted it back so badly. And I was initially trying to do things to somehow drown out the memories, drown out something so I could get back. Right. And of course, people don't understand that that's what you're doing, right? Because you're just a shitstorm on wheels to them, but that's what you're trying to do. Um, and then you're just like, okay, you've accepted the defeat of the fact that you can't, so then you think everything's ruined, and you allow everything to be ruined in a way because maybe you think you don't deserve something better, maybe you don't want something better because it's almost like, why couldn't I have had something better then? There's so many things you have to battle, and people think about it like it's like, oh, it's one moment or it's just one period of your life. That was such a small period of your life relative to all the other days you've been alive. And that's not the
Right.
case. It's the kind of mental trauma that does stick with you. You never forget, never goes away. Even people who block it out, like literally, like they have amnesia for the event, it still runs and controls every decision they make, everything they do. Normally, you see that people who've gone through abuse, especially sexual abuse, they don't like to be touched. They react really almost like they have a lot of highs and lows with emotionality. It seems almost like their emotionality can't be regulated properly. It seems like maybe they're way too over sexualized, or honestly way too under sexualized. Like you will always see it. You will always see it, and it's something you literally have to work on by each little crumb of it. It's not like,
Right.
oh well, once you just, oh, it wasn't my fault, now you're fine. No, it's literally a daily battle for years or decades. And even once, like I said, you've gotten through, it's not gone. You didn't forget. And you can still be triggered. You can still have moments or things that trigger you and bring you right back to that place. And it's just like, no, this is a shit ass day, or this is gonna be a shit ass week for me, because that's where I'm at right now. I'm back where when I was 15, that's where I'm living today, you know. Or suddenly you're like just frustrated and angry and in tears, and it's like, what's wrong with you? Well, when I was 15, this horrible thing happened to me, and so I'm blaming what's happening now 20 years later on that. Like literally, like I wouldn't be in this position. You know where I would have been in life? I would have done this and this and this and this and this, but this trauma came, ruined my friggin' life. Why did God let this happen to me? So now I'm angry, right? I
But
mean,
Ruby, you're a grown woman. You can move past that. You're a therapist, and you can, why are you still harping on the past? Don't you want to get married? No man wants to hear about that. No man wants
your
to hear
brain is
about you.
literally your brain is literally rewired when you go through trauma, like literally rewired. You literally develop a completely different brain, and that brain actually revolves around that trauma. It's almost like your trauma is now your new birth, right? And so
Mm,
everything now relates back to this trauma,
to that one
stems from
spot,
that
yeah.
trauma, connected to that trauma. You never have another memory that is not being connected to that trauma, right? Evolutionarily, that might have been beneficial. Now, not so much, right? Obviously. And so you have to live in it. Like, get over it. Like, again, your whole entire brain is wired for it. How do you get over something your brain is wired for? You
Well,
know?
the thing about it, and I think out of if I would have named 20 girls, out of 20 girls, possibly only 4 out of the 20 probably were never abused or didn't have anything. Something happened to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's 20, and I'm just, yeah. And I know some people might say, "Oh man, like you're conflating that number." No, I'm dead ass
Nope.
serious. I'm telling y'all, like I think that's why one of my things about it, where I would always, whenever I would start dating, one of the things I would tell somebody is I was sexually abused. I would sit down
Mm-hmm.
and let them know, because I do have my days where I don't feel like fucking. I just
Yeah.
feel like, just damn, what the fuck's wrong with him? Like, you don't want me, you ain't touching me. And see, sometimes fellas, y'all we may think the same thing too. Like, damn, like the fuck going on? There must be another dude because she ain't trying to fuck with me. But because a lot of us have come or were raised in rape culture. Yes, it is a thing. I know a lot of people say that's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to let you know, I've heard and I have seen and I grew up where, oh, well, you know, it's cool. Like, I took her with me to the house and we were playing Super Nintendo and, I got me some pussy. Did you really get some pussy or did you take the pussy? Like, was she cool with it? Or I've had some girls who are like, listen, he drove me on the dirt road. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. So the best thing I could do was just lay there in the back seat and just
Mm-hmm.
try to take my mind somewhere else. Like shit's real, y'all. Like a lot. I'm telling y'all, the shit's really fucked up and real because we have a lot of trauma going on. And the thing about it is, some people will turn a blind eye just to
Mm-hmm.
have happiness. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
In
yeah.
some cultures, I caught that when Coach said it. In some cultures, that's not wrong. That's just a man being a man.
Oh no, what culture brought, and I wanted to touch on this really briefly, but you have to remember that in the cultures that have female circumcision, they're not doing it as like an abuse to women, which is why women are the ones who complete this ceremony. Men have no part of it because she's a young virgin. Men don't see a naked young virgin. That's not how that culture works. They're not actually doing it to hurt the girls. They're actually doing it A, for religious purposes, but B, to protect her. Because what they don't understand about the anatomy, although some of them do, and a complete circumcision is very different than, like, there's four different stages of circumcision.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I mean, it can get pretty extreme, but they're doing it actually to try to protect the girls. A girl who has all of her anatomy intact, when her hormones surge and hit and whatever, then they're triggering all of those nerves. What happens? It makes you behave a particular way that causes men to rape you. This is the way that they see it. They didn't have women's rights and the Western world's ideology that, hey, no, listen, men are responsible for their behavior, and if they attack you, it's wrong. They don't have that. They have the idea that if men want to attack you, it's your fault for making them want to. Right. And so they're trying to protect their young girls in an incredibly oppressive to women regime. So, we have to look at that a little bit differently. But let's look at some other places in Africa that are not about female circumcision. I was watching this on World's Toughest Prisons, and this guy, he goes to this prison. And honestly, I'm not even kidding, BMT. I think he said it was well over 90% of the people locked up in that prison are in there for rape. 90%. Raping women is not a thing. Like, that's just what you do on a Saturday night because she's there, because you're bored. Well, I was committing another crime, and she was hot, so I raped her. Like, they speak about it with no shame, no whatever. Like, that's just what they do to women. If you're a woman and you're outside and he can have his hands on you, he's gonna rape you. Is it illegal in that country? Yes. Does it seem wrong? No, clearly not, because everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. Would they do it again? Yeah. Right. So there are definitely cultures where, like, literally rape, the way that it's seen, it's not a shameful, dirty secret. No one's hiding it, or they're blaming the women. It's your fault. Right now, here we understand. Well, actually, we've understood for a very long time. Definitely since 1984, we've understood that this also applies to a husband. Right? Is raping women is not okay. Right? It's not okay. 1,000% it's not okay. This is why it becomes a dirty, shameful secret. But all of those old school kind of mentalities where you blame the girl, right? It's still somehow her fault. She must have brought it on. What did you do wrong? What did you do to bring this on? Now, we could say, well, we've come a long way, society. We have come a long way, but there is still an inherent belief system that's cultured into us. And I'm going to say by us, I'm saying Black community. By Black community, I am saying anybody who has a culture that is descended from slavery. Okay. So
Right.
because I do think that when we're talking about Africa,
Mhm.
um, and descendants from Africa who are here, their pathologies for a different reason. But for us, it's cultured into us. This is a dirty, shameful little secret. Why? Because it descends from slavery, right? Again, why we think the way that we do about rape and sexual assault and this happening, it's descended from slavery, and it's so deeply internalized that even when we think we've gotten rid of it, we haven't gotten rid of it. And even when we think we've addressed it, we haven't addressed it. And even when the majority of society, oh, well, they've come such a long way, we haven't come a long way. We have this culture of silence, and it permeates every concept, whether it's murder, rape, whatever. We have this culture of silence. You don't snitch, snitches get stitches, whatever, right? And that, when it applies to sexual assault, is 10 times stronger and 10 times worse. We talk about the fact, oh, you can't be a rapist in prison. That's true. We talk about the fact, oh, I would beat the hell out of someone who raped my sister, mother, whatever. That's also true. But for that reason, a lot of women choose not to tell their fathers, brothers, whatever, because you know what? They understand implicitly that their father, brother, whoever is going to go and kill that dude. They're not going to call the police. They're going to go kill that dude. And then guess what? They're going to lose their father. They're going to lose that only sense of protection they have in the home. So they keep their mouths shut. Or they tell their mama, and their mom is going to call them a liar, this, that, whatever. So, I mean, you see this. We have a million reasons why we stay quiet. Why does mama want to believe that you're a liar? Because she finally's got a man who helps her pay the bills, who takes care of her, who says nice things to her, treats her really nicely. And she can't for the life of her, A, believe that she would bring a predator into her own home like she couldn't see it. And B, she can't for the life of her believe that the only reason why someone would treat her this nicely is because they're trying to get to their kid, right? And
Right.
so denial, denial, denial. Like it's deep. It's really deep. And for us to keep trying to dismiss it, like, well, you should just get over it. Yeah, it should just be gone. Like that's stupid. Like it's the most idiotic thing that we say when it comes to anything in our community is that people should just get over things that happen to them when it comes to any form of sexual abuse or like trying to quantify it. Like, well, did you do you have a police report? Well, did you
Yeah, I always hear that. Like, why didn't you go file a police report? And that's how I know motherfuckers don't know shit.
mm-hmm,
Because if kids have a hard enough time just telling their parents about when they're being abused in school, how the
mm-hmm,
fuck you think it's easy? And this is I gotta say in a layman's term, how do you think it's easy for somebody who's been humiliated at the highest frequency
mm-hmm,
is going to want to write down that means they have to think and relive it. They have to think about it, relive it, and have to in their mind accept that hey, this just happened.
mm-hmm.
It
Oh
just
yeah.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go on the stand in front of a bunch of people and literally tell people that hey, I got raped.
Right.
Y'all don't even like telling people that y'all lost at family court. So why all of a sudden you gonna think the person who got humiliated? No offense, and I'm telling you, just even as a man, how many men are willing to say another man raped them to
Mm,
other men?
mm.
So why would it be easier for a woman or anybody else? Well, these women are just lying. Okay, right.
Right. Oh yeah. No, the women are just lying. And if you don't have a police report, then it never really happened, even though like all of the research proves that rape is literally and sexual assault, the most underreported of all crimes, period. And you know why that is? Of course, it's because no one blames you for being robbed. And if you are robbed and you point a finger at someone who robbed you or carjacked you or something, when you go into court, they don't then pull out every possibly embarrassing, humiliating, or slanderous thing that they can say about the victim to try to illegitimize the victim so that way, hey, well, come on, he deserved it. His pocket was hanging out. He wastes his money on gambling all the time, right? I mean, they don't do that, right? But that's what they do with sexual assault victims, right? They try to find a way to make you illegitimate, to blame you, to try to make the jury see how it is that you totally deserved being victimized. And that's what you know that you are facing if you go and you stand up in court. You know that's what you're facing. And it doesn't matter that, oh, they let you be Jane Doe or John Doe inside of the media. You still have to go do that in the courtroom. And then you know what? Names get leaked all the time. People know that too, right? Your friends and family are going to know that it's you. And they're going to be hearing all of this news coverage and what people are saying about you, which might get out to your school or to your friends. I mean, like to act like we can't understand why it is to have the most violating of experiences happen to you, most horrible thing and soul crushing. Like it is literally like murder, only you live. So you're murdered but live. Not attempted murder. You are literally, they go through with it. You are murdered but live, right? And then that happens to you. And then first of all, the police talk to you like you're lying
Right.
because that's what they do. And then you sit there and you prepare for court and whatever, and then they tear your credibility, your character, everything about you to little teeny tiny shreds and make you sound like you are like an everyday prostitute who's giving it away for 40 cents a pop, right? Like that's what they do. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
heavily underreported.
So one of the things about it, and again, like I said, shout out to everyone that's coming through. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank y'all for coming through, supporting. Um, and I know me and Ruby are very passionate. We're going in about this. This is not something I knew I just talk about. I'm very I don't mind using my platform to talk about this because a lot of this stuff goes unreported, doesn't get talked about. And if you have the right amount of money, you can make anything go away. If you have the right amount of power, you know, and I know I catch flack. Trust and believe. When I came out about me being sexually abused, I got a whole mixed bag of reactions because how could I, as a man, talk about that? So I'm like, damn. I see why women won't come out and talk about this on social media like that because the drawback is real. Which I mean, it was already hard enough when I told my family. It was horrible. Hell, to this day, it's hard sometimes going to the table or just going to like family gatherings because some of the most devious, disgusting people are there. And then nothing is more harmful than to know that, you know, for case in point, put it like this. When Mimi was pregnant, I always hear this about submission, submission, submission. Right? I wanted to have sex one night. Mimi was like, no, I'm not in the mood. I'm like, no, I want to have sex. And I tried to push up on her and force up on her. This is me telling y'all this.
Mm-hmm.
She started crying and screaming. She started biting into my arm.
Mm.
Mind you, 7 months pregnant with twins, fighting her husband. And something snapped. Maybe it was her biting into me, but I didn't touch her for like a whole. I didn't touch her for like a good 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "I know you was turned on. I know you. Was, I just wasn't in the mood to have sex, you know."
Mm-hmm.
And she joked about it, but I was very ashamed
Mm-hmm.
because I was forcing myself on my kid's mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, all she could do was just fight for herself and the child.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
want I want you to understand. Wives get raped every day by their husbands. I
Mm-hmm.
know that can't be possible, but it is.
It was
This is,
legal to rape your wife until 1984. It wasn't rape.
but see, I'm telling y'all this, and I know people y'all can bring this at me, but it happens. You know, it happened because, and to this day, I do apologize. I have a little bit of the bite mark on me, and it's always a reminder. Though she's like, it's okay, you know, you just wanted some booty, and I'm like, no, it's never okay because literally, what if there had been somebody different? You know, you gotta understand. Um, you know, I always hear the talking point that submission, 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 submission. And you got to always ask, well, what's it like on the receiving end?
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel? So when you look at some of the rules and the laws of, you know what, that's my right to just take it regardless of what it is, you know, she wasn't cool with that. She wasn't
Mm-hmm.
cool with that. And I'm pretty sure there have been plenty of spouses that were not okay with what happened. And so I get that she's trying to make me feel better because I'm her mate and say, hey, it's okay. But I'm like, no, don't co-sign that. If you have wanted to go and report it, it's okay. But you know, granted, she's not. But I'm giving y'all this is me peeling a layer of my humanity to y'all. Told you I don't. I'm never gonna coach. If people want to run with this today, I don't care because I'm telling y'all my truth. I'm telling y'all so that way other women and men know that shit's real out there. There's a lot. There's a lot of children were born out of rape and out of their parents. Sometimes your mom said, "Hey, I'm on my cycle. I'm cramping really badly." Sometimes the husband's like, "Hey, I'm not feeling too hot or I'm drunk." You know, trust and believe. Do not think it cannot happen in a home because you and him are wearing a ring or they just guise it with, hey, because it's religion or something like that. I can promise you, rape is rape, B. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you
People
feel
don't
uncomfortable,
understand what it
go ahead,
is.
uh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Just people don't understand what rape is, right? So, a lot of what I hear, right, is they think like if it wasn't a stranger, right? So it wasn't a stranger, if it wasn't like this violent thing where they were beating you, punching you in the face, breaking your jaw, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Where you were screaming no at the top of your lungs and fighting desperately to get away. Like we have all of this kind of like, traumatic rape scene in our head from movies and whatnot. And people think that if it's any less than that, well, then it can't be rape. So someone just saying, no, I really don't want to, and you forcing yourself on them anyway, and them making any form of effort to say no, to stop you while they're saying no, and you decide to say, I don't care about your wishes, I don't care about what your wants, I'm going to take from you what I want to take from you. It doesn't matter how nicely you do it, right? It doesn't matter how gently you do it. It doesn't matter if they just freeze and say, okay, I'm not going to fight because I just don't want to get hurt. That's still rape because you're taking something from someone that they're not willingly offering you. And it doesn't matter how many times you slept with them in the past, doesn't matter if you're married to them, doesn't matter about any of that, right? Because at the end of the day, right, if they have said, listen, I don't want to do this, and you go through with it anyway, it doesn't matter if they love you, it doesn't matter how long you've been together, whatever, it's a violation, and they will feel violated, right? It will feel violating. They will have to disappear from their body while it's happening to get through it. And then a piece of them is gone forever that they're just living without while they look at you. The soul in their eyes will be dead. You'll think it's something else. They'll blame it on tiredness or anything else. But I've heard other men tell a similar story, BNC, and or only some of them went through with it. And they said that their immediate feeling afterwards was regret and shame. But there's nothing you can do about it now. You've gone through with it now, right? And you'll never be able to shake that. And it does take something away from the relationship because it takes a level of complete trust in your spouse and complete submission to your spouse because now you don't feel 100% safe with them. You don't. You really feel now
Right.
98% safe. You know that they're safe, that they'll never do it again because they're super sorry, but it doesn't matter. You don't feel 100% safe anymore. And so, what do you do when your safety's gone? And the one person you're supposed to be able to turn to is the person who took your safety. Yeah.
I right. And like I said, y'all, listen, I told y'all here on BMT, I'm a whole nother different ball game. This is why um I don't mind talking about these types of things. I don't mind going in. Um, this is why a lot of people don't know how to ping me because of what I talk on or what I go over. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand it took a while. It took a while for me because I became, you know, something. And yeah, granted, listen, that's not to say that we don't have our conversations. Yeah, I go to therapy. I do. I have a great
Mhm.
therapist. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. However, I don't forget. And you're right about that, Mella. No means no. And these kind of conversations, they don't really happen in these spaces. They probably won't. Because
Mhm.
that would mean you would have to be looking at things that do or are happening in the home. You know,
Mhm.
mama just left daddy. Why? Or daddy just stopped touching mama. What happened? You was a child. You didn't know the full scope. Some of y'all probably weren't produced out of love. You probably weren't.
Mhm.
And then your parent just felt guilty and say, well, I'm just going to stick it out with that person. I'm just going to stick it out.
Yeah.
Because
Very
they
true.
feel guilty that they did something to that woman. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And they're like, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
thank
A lot of people don't realize like when I my virginity was taken from me by my boyfriend at the time, and this is my little confused. I was 15. It's not like I was super young. I was 15, but I was Christian, right? I didn't believe in sex before marriage, so I wasn't trying to have it. And then when it happened, my understanding was like when you have sex, that is basically consummating a marriage. So the way I saw it was then, okay, well, I guess I'm going to marry him then. That's literally my interpretation of it. That's how messed up I was in that moment and the time following that. Right. So when I literally I called him the next day, like everything was fine. Everything was not fine. I was sobbing hysterically afterward. All kind of, he knew everything wasn't fine, but I called him the next day, like everything's fine and whatever, because he's my boyfriend and I guess now we're gonna get married. That was my understanding. I thought that was his understanding too, right? Like he chose me as his wife, I guess. So I did not fully understand what was happening. I didn't at all. I didn't understand. Like I asked a friend of mine, how do you know if you're raped? And she said, do you love him? And I said, yes. And she said, okay, then it's not rape. Um,
Wow.
right? Yeah. And to be fair to someone's point in the chat, this was a white girl I asked. And because she was already sexually active. Most of my friends weren't at the time. So, so I said, okay, well, I love him. Okay, so I guess that means that we're gonna get married. So then when he publicly shamed me like a month later, like I'm like this big whore and this and that and blah blah, and, the only person he's marrying is a virgin and stuff like that, a good woman. And so I like wanted to kill myself because now I'm ruined forever. What
Oh,
man is ever going to marry
Ruby,
me? I didn't understand. Like I literally didn't understand. So
in your
now,
mind, you felt like you committed the sin or something like that.
yes,
Wow.
yes,
I'm
I
sorry
thought
to hear that,
I
Ruby.
committed the sin when I found out that I was pregnant 6 weeks later. Um, I didn't know what to do. And I was about to tell my mom, and she just asked me if I was pregnant. And I said, I don't know. And I started crying. And then she kicked me out of my house after calling me a whore and telling me that a house unequally yoked cannot stand, and blah 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 blah, all kinds of crazy stuff. Now remember, we were both in church, and the church, it was almost like a cult. Okay, so the one time, like, she had an opportunity there to help me, to be there for me and whatever, because this is not like a choice I was making. I was not there out there having sex, right?
Right.
But that's not what happened. Right now, later on in life, I found out, oh, my mother has been sexually assaulted as well. She totally could have been there for me, but no, that's not what happened. So instead, I was homeless at 15. After just being sexually assaulted. So you see what I'm saying? These, and then luckily for me, there was a bunch of other things that were set in place where I didn't turn into being a drug addict. I didn't turn into all kinds of things that could have happened, given the fact, honestly, I wanted to die and I was lost and I didn't even have an identity anymore because I can't be a Christian anymore. I'll never be anyone's wife. This is how I really, truly felt. And I couldn't deal with it. So instead of dealing with it, I became an alcoholic instead, right?
Right.
And that's what happens. And the horrifying part of the story is I had an ex-boyfriend, from the States actually, and he came up to visit his parents who lived here. And I said, okay, I had heard wind that was true, so I went to see him and I said, listen, this horrible thing happened, and I started sobbing and I told him the whole entire story,
Right.
and trusting him. And so my second sexual experience, he literally beat me within an inch of my life,
Damn.
raped me multiple times, and then dropped me off on a dark country road, seriously, and left me for dead in a ditch. He thought I was dead. And
Jesus.
this white biker found me naked
Is this
in a
the
ditch.
same? Wait, back up a little bit. Is this the same one you were talking about that took your virginity? This is the
That's
same.
this is the same story.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
this
I'm
is
sorry.
no, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
This is the second. So this is like kind of like the person who took my virginity then broke up with me. Then I found out I was pregnant. Then I got kicked out of my house. Then
Boy,
my
Ruby, girl,
ex-boyfriend,
I just want to hold you right now.
not the same ex-boyfriend who took my virginity, mind you. The ex-boyfriend before that, I found was back in Canada, and I trusted him the most. I dated him for like years. We were like best friends. So I go to him now and tell him this horrifying story, thinking he's going to help me, he's going to support me, he'll be there for me. And instead, he said, "Well, since you're not a virgin, right? That's true. Since you're not a virgin," and then he prepared and went and raped me again. So those were my first two sexual experiences. He beat me so badly, I actually had a miscarriage. So that's what happened there. Those were my first two sexual experiences. I was 15 years old. Now I have no family support. I have no. I don't trust men. That's for damn sure. I have nobody. I have nothing. And so
Ruby, I
people.
just want you to know I love you, girl.
Oh,
If you ever, I want you to know this. I don't give a fuck about this show. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Ruby, I love you. I
Is
love you.
thank you. I love you
is
too,
that
James.
my
You know that.
homegirl in the chat? Oh shit. Anyway,
Like I just want you to know that, Ruby. I love you. I love you, baby. I ain't never gonna leave you. I ain't gonna never forsake you. Like I just
forsake.
no, but
Oh,
sometimes no, man. But sometimes, Jay, like seriously, man, like listen, I want
Forsake
to find this
Joe.
nigga right now and dead this nigga on
But
God.
okay, I don't know the whole story about what's going on with Nicki Minaj. What happened? And I'm sorry, I've been drinking, so please forgive me. But what happened with Nicki?
We need to just go beat fucking goddamn with beat her with a sock of
well, hold on. Jay, just before you go, let me just finish my story really quick because I gotta
Okay,
go
I'm
in like
sorry.
4 minutes. No, it's okay. I just I have to leave literally to go to my panel in 4 minutes. So I will have a chance to finish later. But this
We
is
want to
this
talk
is
about
the
this shit, Ruby. We want to talk about this
I don't
shit
know.
later
This
on.
shit getting progressively worse. I don't know if I want to hear anymore.
no, don't worry.
I want to
That's
find this
pretty
nigga
much
right now and dead
Right?
his ass.
it does get progressively. No, it doesn't. I swear to God,
God
like, that's the
damn,
end
girl.
of. No,
Shit,
that's the
you
end. That's the
crazy
end. That's the
talking.
end. That's the end. But the point is, and this is my point, right? I would love to say that my story is super the worst ever or an original, but in our community is not.
It's
It is
not.
not
It's
even the
normal.
worst story I've heard. It's normalized. It's so normal. It's tragically normal. So again, this is where when I look at someone like Nikki, I'm like, yo, I know she's been abused, probably by that older brother that she was
Hmm.
defending. That's why now she fall in love with someone just like her older brother that she trusts and whatever. And she's just decided to wipe away that trauma, right? Like a person I know in my family. Our family in that area, we're really tight. And the person I'm talking about is very tight with the person who raped her when she was 15. And that admission came and I was just frozen dead. Like, oh my God. Like, I love that man. I think I trust him with my life. Like, what the hell? And then the next day it's like nothing happened. Like, you never told me this person raped you, like whatever. And we just went on with life. And to be fair, I went on with life too. Like, no, I guess I didn't hear that story because how is everything so chill? But because it's over normalized. It's so over normalized. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
That's right.
I'm starting to hate men's penis right now.
I mean, a lot of women, but the thing is, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of stepping in the middle, but a lot of women, we kind of touched on this before, didn't we, Joe? Like, I feel like we did something similar when she
every day
first
there's
got
an
with him.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, maybe I just can't keep up. But no, I mean but that's the thing though, Joe. Like a lot of women have similar stories.
I think that's probably why they think y'all making it up because it's that they're like, damn.
Like I'm listening to Ruby. The thing about it is like what she's saying isn't even like
the worst.
Like right, you know what I mean? I'm like,
damn, what the fuck I have? Like,
it's fucked up, but it's not even the worst. No, not the worst I heard. Not by a long shot. Not even the worst I've heard. But see, well, like, I guess the reason why it inspired me to tell my story, the rest of it, the second part of this tragic tale, my first two sexual experiences, was because you said a lot of people are consumed by rape and are created in rape, and they don't even know it. Because I would have went through with having that baby. There was no qualms in my head that I was going to. And you know what I would have said? I would have said, yeah, I love your daddy, blah, blah, blah. Remember, because I thought now we're getting married. I guess that means we're husband and wife. And I would have just let that all go while living out my trauma, right? And my dysfunction as a result of that trauma. Because that's what you do. Because when something is normal, you feel all the pain. It traumatizes you in the same way, only you never talk about it and never deal with it. You just let it slowly eat away your life.
Thank you, mommy. Thank you, mommy, for making me a boy. I don't want. I got no. Listen, I lost all smoke. I mean, I still gonna have someday. I'll get it back, but I don't got no smoke.
But remember, I said to you when she first. But remember when I said to you when she first got married to that guy, we had this conversation, Joe. Because I remember saying, I know why she married him. I said, there's deeper reasons than what's on the outside.
Well, fuck, man.
We had this conversation.
Y'all need to go get Nicki Minaj some fucking counseling, man.
Yeah. We had this conversation like last year, Joe. Remember?
God damn, boy.
You know I'd be right every time. I'm always right.
Jay of low value. You just brought your value up one notch, man.
God damn.
Up one notch.
So hold on. So now listen now, because right now, shit, Ruby got me all, like half tearing and shit. I can't hold my beer, shaking and stuff, and like I want to find this motherfucker and choke him out for you or some shit. Like I ain't got like so.
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of
women don't feel protected. Is this why women don't?
I have a. I mean, I wasn't beaten into my life my first time, but I do have a similar story about my first sexual experience.
Oh Lord, Jay, I can't go for another fucking goddamn story like this. Come on, my goddamn.
I mean, let's just say it wasn't. It wasn't fully consensual. We'll just leave it at that.
God,
right. So, and you know what? I think that's the problem. Like I saw a title of a video, several videos this week saying something along the lines of like women find it more scary to get married than they do to have children. But like this is why. Because a lot of women's first experiences sexually are not consensual. And so the idea of trusting a man that wholly and completely is terrifying. And no one has ever given them support to work through that pain, to work through that trauma. So they don't, because it's not trauma, because it's normal. Right? And
especially
you don't work through normal
in the church,
things.
Especially if you're religious and you're in the church.
Hold on. So y'all do know, but I am going to do a project on it's like the scarlet letter or the scarlet letter of the baby mama. But it's like, is this possibly?
But what I would want to know, Joe, is if your parents and your grandparents, a lot of them got married probably because your granddaddy raped them.
I really don't.
I'm just saying.
Now, okay, now to catch up to speed, I see, I see. We have somebody down there, but right now I'm just letting the women. They're right now they're in their bonding session. I'm
Oh
just
my
letting.
God.
I don't want to interfere. Now, like I said, goddamn, I'm so fucked up listening to goddamn Ruby right
So
now.
okay, so her
I'm
husband
sorry.
tried. So what happened?
So woman, okay, woman, Nicki Minaj's husband tried to rape, which we know he didn't try. He did succeed.
Okay.
Claims she is being harassed by the rapper and has been offered 500K that she lied and about the sex attack. Now, if she recants the statement about the sex thing, then he can also go for it to get dropped.
Oh,
Is
BNT.
this
You know
recent?
what?
Wait. Is this recent?
Yeah, this is
No.
recent. No.
What?
Talking about the no. Okay, this right here with the woman being harassed. This is recent. Understand?
Okay.
Kenneth can't
Yeah.
do nothing holistically with his family. He really can't. He's
Right.
a level 3 sex offender.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what you can do as a level 3 sex offender. I live under a bridge. Like if he goes to the mall, there can't be nobody really in the mall. Nikki would have to spend money to have everybody to get, you know what I'm saying? To everybody get out the mall so that way they could be in there. He can't be in there with no kids, and I mean the judge has to get paperwork signed. He's a registered sex offender. High level.
So does he have to how does that work around his own child though?
Uh
Is
shit.
that
You're allowed to be around your own children. So we have a really famous one here, Carla Homolka, and when she got out of prison, despite the fact that she actively took part in the rape and violent torture, rape and murder of 2 women, including her own niece, when she got out of prison, because she did get out of prison, she's had multiple children, and she's allowed to be with her children. Right? She's not allowed to drop them off at school, but she's allowed to be around her own children. Yeah. So, yeah.
So basically, in a nutshell, she's trying to bribe this person that we're gonna say allegedly because we don't want to get sued. So we don't want to get sued too by Nicki. So allegedly, the woman that he allegedly raped, Nicki is trying to bribe.
Yeah, hush money. But she don't
want. To be fair, wait. No, we don't have to say allegedly because he was convicted of it in a court of law.
So that's where I guess I'm confused at. This is the chick that he raped who was 16. That's why.
Right. But that's why I said if she says, listen, he did not rape me. Like if she can get her to say that, right? Then she can also bring that up at court saying, hey, she lied, she made it up. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, I thought this was a new chick. That's why I was saying allegedly.
No, same girl.
Same one.
She's trying to get her to take the money. The woman came forward with her alarming allegations in an interview with the Daily Beast on Thursday, using her first name only. Jennifer accused Nicki Minaj's husband Kenneth Petty of sexually assaulting her when they both were 16 years old in 1994. Remember, we covered that. Mm-hmm. Petty was convicted of attempted rape a year later. Petty was Minaj defended her husband like an idiot, sex offender status in 2019, and claimed his accuser lied and attempted to recant her statement to police back in 1995. But Jennifer insisted that she never considered walking back her claim, despite Minaj and Petty's alleged effort to get her to do so. She claimed that over the last year, Minaj and Petty recruited several people close to her family in a vicious intimidation campaign. Jennifer said that the harassment began in March of last year, immediately after Petty was arrested. Now, the reason why I said...
wait, BNT, I gotta go, but I'm going to say one thing. So if this is the article you linked, if you scroll down to where it has the pictures and it says 1 of 8, number 7 is actually her talking about it, the girl. If this is the same article that you linked, so you'll actually be able to listen to her talk about the harassment and stuff like that.
Where's it at? 1 of 8. Goddamn.
Hold on, keep going down. I think keep going because it says it in the bottom corner. No, okay, keep going Keep going down. There's a lot of
That's
keep
her
going.
right there.
Okay.
That's her.
Uh-huh.
I do want to play devil's advocate for. I'm just asking. Like I said, I just want to play devil's advocate. Why is this?
If you got it, get it for me, Ruby. Send it to me, and I'll definitely cover that. I'll definitely put it out.
Okay.
Why is this all coming out like now? Huh? Like, didn't he already do the time back then? Like, I guess that's the part I'm not. That's why
he failed to register as a sex offender.
Yeah,
he failed to register as a sex offender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not sticking up for him. I'm not sticking up for him.
Right, he had to go to jail for that. He had to go to jail for failing to register, and she had to get him out for that. Because you know his ass can't go nowhere without doggone registering and shit.
I get it. It's coming together now. So he had to register as a sex offender forever, or because sometimes it's only
everywhere he goes.
No. But sometimes it's only for X amount of years. Like sometimes it's like, oh, you might have to register as a sex offender for like.
He's level 3, Jay. He's level 3. This motherfucker don't got no choice. They have to know because he also assaulted a woman, and you know with an ice pick.
But he was a minor, no?
I think he was 16.
And she was 16, but he got tried as an adult.
In New York. Also along with that, he also killed a few people.
Well, yeah, I know about.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm not saying he's an upset.
You don't want a devil advocate for this motherfucker.
No.
I'm
trying to get the whole story. Like I'm just trying to get the whole story. I don't want anyone to think I'm sticking up for him. I was just trying. I mean, we know they're trash. We get that. But like I said from the beginning, when they first got together, and it doesn't make it okay, but I think the reason they probably got together because he was somebody that she knew from way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make it okay, but she probably has a hard time trusting anybody just because of her level of where she's at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure, you know, being who she is, maybe she didn't want to necessarily be with someone else that was in the industry. So who else she don't want to be with anyone in the industry. Who else could you really get with, maybe except for somebody that you knew from when you were a teenager?
Damn, that's what she done dug.
You understand what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm not saying it was the greatest move. I'm just saying.
This girl done dug to the pits of hell and pulled this nigga. Like, of all people, shit. Who was there left? Choose somebody for the manosphere or Kenneth Petty. God damn. Is it that bad out?
I mean, the dudes from. Wait a minute, half the dudes from the manosphere are rapists. What are you talking about?
Okay, good point. So, I mean, at this point, shit.
So, how many times have stories came out about these dudes from the manosphere?
Every time.
I mean, let's just be real. Wait a minute, half of them probably got the same damn charges this dude got. So they not in any place to talk about him.
I try to take up. Every time I try to take up somebody from the manosphere, I swear, man, they just outdo something more heinous.
Shit, how many? Well, you got one motherfucker that left the country because he was preying on young girls.
Yeah, he did do that.
You got other motherfuckers that don't take care of their kids. Somebody else has been divorced like 5 times. I mean, I'm just saying.
At this point, I'd be like, you know what? Y'all niggas, please start telling me y'all stories.
You got that other motherfucker that beats women. Pickings are slim, sir. Pickings are slim.
Just go gay.
I think she just, you know what? I think she just wanted to have a baby because she got pregnant fairly quickly. I think she just really wanted to have a baby.
She just tired of being alone. Nicki was tired of being alone. Beyonce had a baby. Fucking
right.
Everybody had a baby except her.
Right. So I think that's what I'm saying. I think she just wanted to have a baby. Again, it don't make it right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, and you know, she got the money to make shit go away. I mean, let's be real. Bill Cosby was making shit go away for 25 years, and then the payments ran out, and then that's when chicks started talking.
You know, I'm like this, okay? That some people,
and that's him, right? That's Kenneth Petty. I'm gonna be real. He's a nice looking dude, so she probably wanted them jeans or something. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Jay, shut your drunk ass up. This is why you going right back to low value again. You just got him 2 points. Now
I
you
just said he's nice looking. That doesn't take away from him being fucking crazy.
He got blue eyes, creamy nice hair and shit. How the fuck his goddamn dick is the size of goddamn sword? The fuck is wrong with you? Damn.
I mean, she was with Safari. The last nigga she was with was Safari. He's a fuckboy too. I mean, come on.
That's a corny fuckboy. Shit. And listen, you know what? I don't even get mad at when black women go gay. I don't even get mad anymore. I understand. Maybe it's true.
You know what? How many times have I said I don't understand why I'm still straight? I
be like, you know what? You know what?
Because if this shit, because if this shit don't work out, I'm going to the other side for real.
Listen, live your truth. I heard y'all get some good health insurance. Y'all coalition is getting some things done. Go ahead and figure out your truth and shit. Have a good time. Because at the point that it's going right now, you know, and see the thing about it, the reason why, but some people say, well, why would she need to do this? Or she do? Why would
the same reason everybody else pay people off? I mean, this ain't nothing new.
It should go away. If it goes away, then guess what? They can get that recanted and changed up, and Kenneth can go around free. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there are some women that doggone co-sign a lot of fuck niggas, and they allow them to get away with a lot of stupid shit. And Kenneth, you a whole damn fuck up. You know what I'm saying? You're a whole fuck up. Honestly, ain't nothing like goddamn, ain't shit you can do for this guy. Like honestly, I don't know, Nikki. You should have just went asexual. Like goddamn, like
she should have just got a sperm donor. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you could have just got a sperm donor, Nikki. I guess you know what you felt some type of way. Like goddamn it, if Beyonce can get with goddamn that nigga Jay-Z and shit, I mean she sucks that thing up. Then
you don't think Jay-Z done paid a couple of motherfuckers off? I mean, come on.
Listen, okay, listen. Beyonce understands that. That's why she be singing her songs. She be damn going through struggle, boy. Beyonce ain't singing that song for y'all. She's singing that song for her. That's what she's singing that song about. You know what I'm saying? Damn, she going through her own struggles and shit. So that's the same thing going on for right now for this. So I don't have no smoke for. I think what Nicki did was disgusting. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not co-signing anything on this whole situation. I just came on.
No, you know we got to do our job.
Wait, I just came on so I don't get fined by you.
Jason, I just had to do my job. And just do this one damn show. I just gotta do my job. And he be getting mad when I don't go and do the show. Yeah. But you know, like I said, hey, don't be trying to protect fuck nigga dick. It'll get you fucked up. Like I said, honestly, but God forbid, we don't want to talk about what's going on with T.I. and shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like you go down the list. I mean, shit. In the grand scheme of things, is really what if he was 16 and she was 16. I mean, shit. In the grand scheme of things, is what he really did that bad in comparison to what some of these motherfuckers is doing.
Well, he did. No,
the bar is on the floor. I'm just.
I guess so. The bar is in the ground. The fuck is in the ground. So the fuck we gonna T.I. Tiny or listen T.I. Tiny Shakana the whole goddamn listen Killer Mike probably done deleted his phone number and threw his phone in the ocean like. Ain't nobody trying to pick up T.I.'s phone number. Not for this shit.
Well, wait, did he have some underage? Wait. Isn't there some underage girls in there too?
He had a doggone. Because see, what came out was that T.I. had that damn girl. He had one girl sign a waiver, and you know
and
they're
she
like,
was underage. The baby got some shit behind him too.
I'm like, God, what the fuck is going on with y'all nigga? I'm like,
the baby done paid a couple chicks off too.
Lord God,
all these dudes is fucking trash. I keep telling you that.
Why? That's why y'all niggas be talking about going overseas. Y'all know these damn people can't read
because they don't know. Right? Exactly.
That's why y'all be talking about going overseas and shit. Y'all know these motherfuckers can't read. Y'all gonna try to get them to sign contracts and shit. Like, goddamn, boy. Sometimes your penis just gets you in trouble. And trust and believe, I've had my ancient ways. Shit, boy. When I compare what I got going on to y'all, fuck, I look normal. I'm normal.
Oh,
Y'all big.
Queen of the South. Like I said before, I'm not trying to say that I'm not excusing his behavior at all. I'm just talking shit, really. But I'm not trying to excuse his behavior. I'm just saying, like I said, the bar is on the floor. Like in comparison, I guess, to other industry dudes. I mean, that's all.
Man, she should have just put herself on Love and Hip Hop shit. Probably would have found somebody. All right, we're joined here by Brother Speak. Welcome, Brother Speak, to the BMT and J Friday night show. Ruby just now left out the building. God damn it, if that girl don't get a fucking movie deal, I don't know what the fuck on that damn.
God, yeah.
So we're
Tell
going
me about
on.
it.
You know, I know you. So what do you want to talk about? What's up?
Yeah. Well, hearing about Nicki, I think Ruby is right because this happened kind of in my family. My uncle, who was not the nicest person in the world, and that's putting it lightly. When my cousins were young, they ran away from that house. Now, one came back because she had like a health issue, and she was just like mean to my aunt, like and my aunt would complain to my mother, and my mother was like, "Well, why would she be so mean?" I said, "Well, what happened in their family? Because I'm trying to figure out why. People just don't be mean to their parents for no reason." And when my mother told me that they ran out the house by the time they got 18, they just ran. I told my mom, I said, 9 times out of 10, and I know how that guy is, I am like this is he probably touched those girls because they ran out that house from what my mother was saying. And for one of the daughters to come at, even on her, literally my cousin was on their deathbed and my aunt was taking care of her, and she was still mad at my aunt. That's why I told my mom, I said, he touched her or something happened.
If you
Because
holding on to that kind of anger for that long, yeah, usually.
yeah, she died. She was in the 40s when she died.
You know, I can't lie, and I'm going to talk about it later. Like, I love my mom, and my dad, but I'm also angry with them because I have so much shit. Like, I get angry because if I sometimes wish I was strong enough, like I am now. And I have a good support system. I have Mimi, I have Jay, I have Mobu, I have good friends and family. But trust me, in my darkest hours of my life, I didn't have that shit. I did not have that, and it's hard. It's hard because there are some people out there when they hear your story, and Jay and I will tell you, they will take advantage of you. They will take advantage of you in a heartbeat, and they will contort your mindset and say, "Oh, I got you," and then guess what? You in a you're in an even worse predicament. Just like Ruby was saying, like, damn, she thought she could go to a friend. It got even worse.
And I told you how that's happened to me, like men that I've cared about, and I'll tell them that, oh, I was in an abusive relationship or whatever. And it's like, then like when shit kind of ended for whatever reason it ended, which had nothing to do with what happened prior, it was like, oh, well, that's why you used to get your ass beat. Like, huh?
Damn, I know we were going that low to the ground. Shit.
Right. Like,
hey,
what?
Jay, that happened to my ex. What we was in college, and she met some other friends of mine. And, and all of a sudden, like they started having beef. And, I didn't know what was going on because I was hanging with her, I was hanging with them. They wasn't hanging out anymore like they used to. And there was some beef. So we was at an apartment one day and I said, well, what's going on? Why y'all beefing? What's going on? Because I'm none the wise. I'm in the middle. Well, she told me that she was raped
Mm.
twice, and like a while ago when she was 18. Um, what? And then she told them, and they immediately turned against her. And it was like anytime she had like an issue with them, they would bringing that up that you know
That's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy to me.
it. Yeah, I was like, I because when she told me, you know, I she told it to me. It wasn't like hysterical. She wasn't crying. She just told it just even kill.
Yeah, because I mean, she probably when, and that's what happened with me because it's happened a few years ago. It's like when I told the person I'm in a relationship with about it, like it wasn't. It was kind of how I'm talking to you now. Or sometimes I'll be like, yeah, Crazy used to do that shit, and he would just be like, what? And I'm like, oh, Crazy used to do that shit, da 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 da. And I would just like keep talking because I've gone through tons of therapy and I've like worked all that shit out at this point. But like, yeah, but like I said, the person that I was dealing with before him, like I said, he would get mad and just be like, oh well, that's why that nigga used to beat your ass, or this, that, and the third, and it's like,
Yeah.
nigga, we was arguing because you got different women in every fucking city in Florida. Like what?
Yeah, I mean, they, like I said, listen. That's one of the most interesting things. I always hear that this is a space for healing or for men's voices, but it blew my mind. That was one of the biggest things. Um, that was one of the biggest things that would happen. That I would hear. Um, dudes would bring that up and throw that in my face about.
Right, and it's fun. It meant, and I hate to say it, and people always, how many times have people called me a man hater? But how many times have men come up here and prove everything I've said to you behind the scenes true? It's like
Oh,
I can't be a man hater when y'all literally be proving my point every fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, that's like that's why
I just be
I was on
wanting
a panel.
somebody to come on his panel and just be like, prove everything I've ever said to Josiah wrong once, and it's never happened.
she.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sad because you can't really defend it. It's like what can I say? What can I say that well that's just him, but then you got another person doing it, and then you got another person doing it, and so it's like how can I defend it? That's why I told someone else on a panel one time when she asked me about should women trust black male leadership. I told her I don't trust no black leadership at all because a lot of people in our community, unfortunately, are self-serving, and they will
Mm.
protect anybody they like or desire, and they can be doing the most heinous of stuff, and they will protect them to the end, and will try to destroy you and anybody that will go against them.
Uh-huh. And
And
like,
it's
right. No,
and
no,
it's just
you're right
like
about. Right.
and it's troubling, especially when we talk about women being raped. You got women who will go against them, like
Mm-hmm.
like
We like to call
horribly.
them. We like to call them pick me's.
Shout,
Right.
shout
That
out to
that that
shout out to
and
y'all the biggest, greatest pick me's of 2021.
Who is
and here's
that?
the and
Shakana
here's
and
the
Ty,
killer part.
greatest pick me's of 2021 right now.
Yeah, and the killing part is the women that they just claim that they love black men, maybe because they had great experience with black men. They're called in the pygmies, but the Nicki Minaj's, they don't they just forget about them. And these women are the biggest pygmies of all. They're like the worst pygmies because they're literally trying to destroy a woman's life just because she's telling you, "Hey, this dude raped me brutally." And first, when they tried to offer the money, they didn't pay. She didn't take it. So you got to know at that point, oh,
Right.
she's serious,
Because I mean, 500,000, I'm sure is life changing.
That is,
right?
So for her to not take it and know, like that means like, come on.
I mean, that means this happened, and so that's why she's trying to send the goons. Hey, remember when she was with Safari? This is not the first time Nicki tried to send goons after somebody. Remember Safari when they had that little fight? It was alleged that she or Young Money sent the goons after him.
Why am I might be getting her and Cardi B confused. I know Cardi B did something similar. Allegedly. Everybody, allegedly. No, we don't want to get sued. Allegedly.
Again, keep getting taking hits. Goddamn. Our lawyers barely copacetic every night.
Yeah.
Goddamn, boy.
Get the lawyer. You got lawyer money on deck. BNT.
If you say allegedly, that means we're just stating what we saw in the gossip blogs. We don't know if it's true or not. That's just what we heard on the gossip blogs.
We have a lawyer, but our lawyer ain't always.
She be drunk half the time, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's who's your lawyer?
Well, like I said, the main thing about it is, you guys, is, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, Nicki, because you're full of shit. You just got on.
But it's like it's crazy because she sings about women, like she talks about women empowerment a lot, and I hate.
That's a sales pitch.
I don't want to hate Nicki. I don't want to hate her because she's giving money to women to finish college. Like she's done so, like her and like Meg Thee Stallion, like they give so much money to like women.
But she be on her gatekeeper shit.
I don't want to hate her, but damn,
I can hate that bitch.
I'm sorry. Jay, if you don't want to hate her, I'll hate her for you. She's okay.
So let's say this. All right. So let me ask you this, Jay. Let me ask you this. So Oprah opens up a girls' school, but Oprah gets reports that at the girls' school that there are girls being sexually abused and raped. She can A, shut it down, or B, she can let that motherfucker just keep on running.
So what happened?
She let the motherfucker keep on running. The school's still going.
Did she pay off people?
Yeah, she paid to keep it quiet and clean it up. Like that's what Oprah,
like I said, like most celebrities do. Like I said, you don't. What did I say earlier? Allegedly, Jay-Z got some kid in the Caribbean somewhere. Allegedly, that's been a rumor that's been going around for like 20 years. So,
boy, I swear, boy,
that's what I'm saying. Like people been,
that's what I'm saying.
Hollywood is a different world.
Hollywood is a different world, boy.
You know, I mean, like I said, the only reason you think about it, like how many years did it take people to come out about Bill Cosby? You don't think he was paying them women all of those years?
Oh yeah, he did. I think the last girl he paid, was paying.
He did settlements for her.
Money stopped.
What's the other person? R. Kelly was paying off fucking families and shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like this shit ain't nothing new under the sun. You know, it's all trash. It's all trash.
Oh.
But that's why I said I just don't want to hate her because I know she does talk about women empowerment a lot and stuff like that.
Queen, when it first came out, because there were reports about Oprah's school long ago, right?
But Oprah's not directly responsible for what other motherfuckers do. Right.
But nevertheless, it's going to still be looked at as Oprah's school.
Oh, no, absolutely. But but she's still not directly. I know what you're saying, but she wasn't the one raping them. You know what I mean? Like
Right. And I don't want to, and listen, I don't want to ever say Oprah is a bad person. That's not me to throw that out. I'm looking at it at some point when you can't keep it silent anymore, like, and see, this let me show y'all something. And this is no shot to Kobe. Well, it probably is. So after Kobe died, Gayle King asked a question. So about Kobe's rape thing. Mm-hmm. Now I understood the female was like, yo, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want a part of that. And some people say, oh, he should not do that. Then the white feminist woman said, "Oh no."
The white feminist
woman that
you talking about the girl that he raped her or something?
No, the other one. So there was another feminist. She was like, Kobe.
He
Everybody.
said the white feminist woman.
No, stop. So the white girl said, Kobe, she like, I don't know why y'all act surprised. Everybody know Kobe paid off the people so that way they wouldn't testify. And everybody like, Kobe wouldn't do that. I like, the fuck?
Well, remember, Kobe said Shaq been paying his women for years, and Shaq takes very good care of his side chicks. No, I mean, I know it's a different story. Like, it's not great, but
motherfucker that day.
I'm just saying, everybody in Hollywood is paying off somebody to shut the fuck up.
I was like, damn, Shaq.
Exactly.
He done dry snitched you out right off the back.
Well,
like,
Kobe dry snitched on friggin' Shaq.
Yeah, he did.
And I mean,
hell, he dry snitched on the whole goddamn Lakers.
Hold on, Joe. I'm about to be real trash right now, but look where Shaq is at and look where Kobe's at. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we think today.
Wow.
I would like to say
up.
I got left. Thank you guys for everybody. Yeah, we all know DMX is shit. We all know CeeLo definitely is shit. CeeLo be getting caught. Listen,
CeeLo's insane. I'm sorry.
At that point,
I'm sorry, Toy.
Get out of it.
That was fucked up, Jay.
This is why you'll always
you deserve that title.
So this is why we won't ever get. This is why
we can't get monetized.
This is why we always getting put back in the shit show. I try to get us put back into white YouTube, but Jay just always tries to drag us back into nigga tube when I'm trying to get us the fuck out. Like, damn it, fuck.
Yeah.
Just be happy David didn't show up today.
Yeah, I guess I'm.
Jay, either him or J.I.
You know what? I can tolerate J.I. I can tolerate J.I. David's just on a whole other.
All right,
but anyway,
David's a troll though. He be trolling hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. You know what I'm saying? Today is March, so we'll probably do some more content. We'll probably do some more content later. Not tonight. Jay done broke goddamn the shit. I already got one person eyeballing me on the other side of the bedroom. Like, fuck.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, you knew what the fuck you were doing. You knew what the fuck you were saying when you said that. Yeah.
So you're gonna be on the couch tonight, BMT?
Possible, but literally,
damn.
Like I said, low value people don't give a fuck. They already at the lowest bottom.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all. Some people don't give a fuck about other people, but that's their selfishness, you know. So Jay can go fuck herself. And literally, we thank y'all for being up here and joining with us. Shout out to Ruby. Thank you, Brother Speak, for coming through. Thank y'all for coming through. I know this is not, but like I said, I'm still gonna share this video. If y'all do enjoy the content, please email us at blackbrother123@gmail.com. Shout out to Black Lives Matter for getting that bill passed, the George Floyd bill passed to get.
Well, there's still a lot more steps to go. We'll just,
There is, but
at least they're doing something.
It's
a lot more than others.
You know what I'm saying? So literally, you guys, we just thank y'all guys for coming on through, support to the channel. And if y'all enjoy the content, email us. Definitely. We can definitely like to sit down and work shit out with y'all. I am BMT, Business Minded Talk. We got this motherfucker over here. I don't even want to utter her name. And Brother Speak. So you guys, she got me so frustrated right now. Like,
goodbye. I'll say goodbye, Jay.
No, don't even say fucking goodbye. You can just stay on the fucking channel.
You got him sleeping on the couch now. I mean, damn.
Guys, I'll see you guys later. All right, peace, y'all. God damn.
Bye, everybody.
Boy, I swear, she do that shit sometime. This is why we